Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Clawy Variety Show. I am your evil overlord, Clawy, and today we're gonna go through the process of commissioning a fursuit. Now it is going to be a long process. It's a very long process, and being in the fandom doesn't require you to have a suit. It's not a necessary thing. I was in the fandom for 5 years before I got my first suit, and again, it's a luxury. It's a long process. There's a lot of saving. There's a lot of mature choices that you're going to have to make. But at the end of this, I will give a very good tip that not a lot of people talk about. But anyway, let's just start with the process. Step number 1, finding a maker. There are a lot of very good makers out there, and there's a small chance that not your first pick will be available at the time. But in this process, or this step of the process anyway, try to have at least 4 or 5 different fursuit makers planned, because again, you never know how everything is going to work out. Step 2, sending in a quote. Now this could be a very easy process or a very difficult process. There are a lot of makers that don't work with minors for multiple reasons, and occasionally you will have to have a parent sign off on it. But sending in a quote, again, easy or difficult, just look at the prices, kind of get a guesstimate on what you think you want for your fursuit, and just send in that interest quote to get a vague idea of how much you want to save for. But be sure to let them know that if you're not ready to move forward, then you're not ready to move forward. Otherwise, they'll be waiting for you to respond and holding a spot for somebody else who is ready to go, or holding a spot for you when there's somebody else that's already ready to move forward. So there's that. When I first sent in my very first quote for Clawy, she roughly costed about $1,200, about $1,200, and that was way back in 2012. As of 2015, when I commissioned Clawy, she cost me about $2,100. So that's a lot of money, but that was a lot of time to sit there and save up that money. So there's that. Step number 3, saving the money. Now this is the very first long process of this whole system, if that's the right word to use. You gotta start saving up your money. You have to, when I saved up for my suit, I had worked a job for a summer, and then I got my, that's a completely other story, but I got my missed wages that following year, right before I paid off Clawy. Then there was a price bump, but I ran commissions to get about $60 to pay for the remainder, which I believe was the shipping on my first suit. Please, just for the love of all things bright and beautiful, do not ask for donations for your suit. This is a luxury item that you need to earn yourself. You have to earn the money yourself. You got to put down the purchase yourself. Don't ask your parents for the money, unless they're super rich and generous, but really don't ask your parents for the money. Don't ask for donations for a fursuit. Just don't do that. Get it the honest way. And that is the only time you will ever hear me say that. Step 4, contacting to move forward. Now, you'll have to send in a requote because quotes only last for so long. Again, I put in my very first quote in 2012, then I put in another quote in the spring of 2015, right after TFF, and then I put in the final quote for the next step that I will talk about in September of 2015. So wait for them to open up for requotes and let them know that you're ready to move forward. And here's a tip. Fursuit makers love when you pay off your suit in full up front, like covering for shipping, everything else that you ordered with your suit. If you could pay off that puppy up front, then they will love you, absolutely adore you. But you also have the option of doing monthly payment plans. Just as long as you keep up your monthly payment plans and can do the down payment, just talk to the maker that you're going with about it. Okay? Step number 5. Waiting for your slot to come up. I went nuts during this part. Like, you have no idea. Because I had to wait from September all the way to February. Or September 2015 all the way to February of 2016 for my slot to come up. I was running up the walls mad. But again, this is a game of patience. You gotta be patient. That's the maturity of all this. You gotta be patient. Oh gosh, that was a long process. It is a very long waiting game, especially if it's your first suit. Again, Clawy is currently my first and only suit. And I had to wait a long time. Like, my friends could tell you stories about how I would just lose my mind every time someone said the word fursuit. But anyway, another waiting game. Step 6. Waiting for completion. Now, this was also another stressful time for me because Clawy was on a deadline for Texas Furry Fiesta 2016, and I literally got her the Thursday of the convention. So, again, waiting game. You gotta, if you have a deadline, it's stressful, but trust me, it's worth it in the end. Stick with it. You've gotten this far, you can't give up now. Step 7. Waiting for shipping. You gotta wait to ship. Simple as that. Like, I can't go into any more detail than that. But my guesstimate, depending on where you're ordering your suit from, I would guess that you would get your suit between 1 and 2 weeks. Like, I would say 2 weeks tops. If it's coming from out of the country, I don't know because I've never been through that process before. So, you're kind of on your own there. Sorry. Step 8. Waiting. Is my package here yet? 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 Step... I only have 8 fingers. My life is a lie! Step 9. Step 9. The arrival. Yay! My package is here! Time to do an unboxing video! Suit! Step 10. Joyful, happy suit time! You got a fursuit. You got a fursuit. You're gonna be fluffy. Yeah. Let's not remix that, please. That was awful. Virtually, this is a very long game of patience, and a lot of people might not be ready to go through that process yet, you know? If I may offer some very good advice, I advise that while you're looking for the ideal fursuit maker, and you're a minor, this will be very good if you're a minor. While you're looking for the ideal fursuit maker, start saving up a little bit at a time. And by the time you get to be 18, you'll have either enough for a down payment or enough to pay off the fursuit entirely. Just like I said, run commissions, work a job. If you start earning the money when you start doing step 1, by the time you're 18 and a lot of fursuit makers will work with you and you probably stop growing, at that point you'll have some money towards your fursuit. Then you could go through the rest of the steps and etc. blah. That way the waiting game may not be as long as it could be, if that makes any sense. Anyway, here's hoping that this advice was helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Clawy Variety Show, and until next time, keep those paws tuned in.